Recently, I took a trip with my school band to Central Europe. I decided that I would make a video in the style of the Thoughts from Places travel videos done by the Vlogbrothers John and Hank Green. You can find a link to their work in the description below if you want to check those out. Our journey in Central Europe began in Munich. After we got off the plane, we started out on the Autobahn, the famous highway with no speed limit. After some good night's sleep, we walked around Munich city center with stunning architecture and a city hall that puts many to shame. I mean, seriously, they have a 100-year-old structure on City Hall called the, excuse my German here, Rathaus Glockenspiel that, okay, it's better if you just watch.
Do the bottom ones move? Oh, there's a horse. Epic horse battle.
In the ensuing days, there was a lot of shopping and touring of castles, including the Neuschwanstein castle that inspired the Disney logo. The castle itself was amazing, but I thought it was dwarfed by the absolutely spectacular views from the area around the castle. I mean, just look at this place. It's not great if you're scared of heights, but still the scenery is stunning. After Munich came the city of Salzburg, with its stark contrast of old and new. Water wheels spun next to fire hydrants and glass pyramids encased old marble statues. We took a tour of all the places significant to the film The Sound of Music, including the mansion used for the filming of the Von Trapp house. We also found out that in Salzburg, everything is Mozart related. I mean everything. They even have chocolates named after the guy. Side note, those chocolates are delicious. The next city we went to was Vienna, Austria's main hub of activity. First, we went to the Music Museum, where many of us tried in vain to make music with virtual bubbles. We went to the Vienna State Opera House and watched a stunning performance of Aida. And of course, there was a ton of touristy stuff to do in the city center. Vienna was probably the most vibrant and lively out of all the places that we went to, and the level of activity is insane. And yet, like all of the cities we visited, this metropolis somehow finds a balance between old and new. Although it was bizarre seeing a Starbucks or a McDonald's inside a building several centuries old. After a long bus ride, we arrived at our final destination, Prague, the grittiest of all the cities. Don't get me wrong, the people there are really friendly, but you certainly have to adapt to both your surroundings and the pace of activity there. It was odd seeing graffiti decorating the walls and doors of 100-year-old structures, and yet it seemed weirdly suitable. We toured Prague's old town, where you can see buildings ranging from 50 to 900 years old, just standing in one place. After the tour, we had some free time to do touristy stuff in the city center. While browsing through various tourist shops, we came across one which had a gaping hole in the middle of it. I have no clue why it was there or what purpose it served, but it gave us all a little jolt of adrenaline. Later on, while walking around the city, we saw a large procession walking through town, singing hymns and holding white crosses. I don't know what the cause was, probably some sort of peace rally, but the mood was somber nonetheless. The final major event of the trip was an evening piano recital. For some reason, the pianist had a change of heart before the concert, and altered his program to include a Beethoven sonata, another Beethoven sonata, and another Beethoven sonata. Oh, and for his encore, he played another Beethoven sonata. The entire trip was, in a word, unforgettable. From Munich's amazing city hall, to Salzburg's Mozart-centric economy, to Prague's inexplicable holes in the ground, we all had a great time. And oddly enough, I didn't have that sense of nostalgia that I usually do during long vacations. And I guess I owe that to the people I was with. I made connections not only with people in the tour group, but also, to an extent, with those living in the places we visited. Everyone I spoke with was patient and understanding, even if I was a tourist who didn't speak the language. And oddly enough, as far away as I was from Vancouver, I always felt at home, like I belonged there. As a group, we weren't seen as tourists or musicians or students. We were seen as what we were: people. And when we see each other as people, it is then that true connections can be made. I'll talk to you soon.